I made a video about prescribing GLP1s off-label, and there were some people who got a little bit confused about what I was referring to. So if you haven't watched that video, go check it out and then come back and watch this one where I clarify what I was talking about. Hey everybody, it's Allie. I'm on a fantabulous weight loss journey and hopefully you'll subscribe, come along for the ride because I put out new videos every day. So I made a video. There were some people who got their feelings hurt. It was not my intention. So I figured I'd make a follow-up clarification video so that we can have a more productive conversation about prescribing GLP-1s off-label. So let me start off with the clarification point. If you haven't watched that video, hopefully you'll go watch it right now. Don't worry, I'll wait for you to come back. I'm giving you time to pause in case you need to go see that video. You just go to my list of videos. It was like 2 videos ago or something like that. And and just click on it and then watch it and then come back. I'll be right here. Okay, hopefully you did that. If you didn't, you're fired. Okay, so I was talking about how insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies and PBMs are starting to crack down on off-label prescriptions for GLP-1s. First of all, why is this happening? Well, it's happening because these medications are so expensive. I can assure you that if these medications were the same prices as what you see in their exact same counterparts overseas, we wouldn't be having this conversation because it wouldn't be enough money for anybody to care. But because in the US, the prescriptions are so expensive, everyone is clamoring to get a piece. And if you didn't watch, everything that's been going on with GLP-1s in the news and Bernie Sanders and all that jazz, then you're probably not aware that a huge chunk of the money is going to PBMs. And this is a problem. But that is a topic for another day. So back to my topic, prescribing GLP-1s off-label. So specifically what I was referring to, and in order to better explain this, we're going to have to go back in time. So back in the day, which was a Wednesday, doctors were prescribing Mounjaro and Ozempic for weight loss only. Because back in the day, that's all there was. There was no Wegovy. There was no Zepbound, right? So back in the day, the only option was to prescribe a medication that was created for diabetics. And this is where people get off on a tangent and they're like, you're taking the medicine from diabetics, right? This is where that stems from. So a medication that, yes, was created for diabetics, but they found out that people actually lose a butt ton of weight and become healthier. And so the pharmaceutical company said, hey, we've got a solution. We'll create the exact same medication under another one of our branded names, Zepbound Wegovy, and it will be prescribed only for weight loss, which then frees up the medication in stock for those with diabetes, right? The whole point was to be able to accommodate both groups of individuals, not create a shortage, right? And for each group to qualify for each medication based on the qualifications, right, that were laid out both by insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies, doctors, right? So what they did was they created Wegovy and Zepbound, the weight loss versions of the medications. Now, let me be very clear so that anyone who is butthurt by my last video will not be further injured by this one. If you have Hashimoto's, sleep apnea, PCOS, or any other condition that is now currently considered off-label, I'm not talking about you, right? We don't have a cardio treatment Mounjaro labeling. We don't have a sleep apnea labeling. We don't have another version that's only for PCOS. You see what I'm saying? So there is a certain amount of off-label prescription that's going to happen. And that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. And yes, it happens with many, 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 many prescriptions of various kinds, treating various conditions, right? What I am talking about, specifically in that video, and right now, I'm talking about the people who were prescribed Ozempic, Mounjaro, right, designated for diabetes, in the beginning, off-label, specifically and only for weight loss, okay? In those cases, that is where we are starting to see that they're cracking down on prescribing off-label, because there is a designation for weight loss. It does have its own requirements. Now, are those requirements reasonable? Are they feasible? Should insurance companies all have different requirements in different states and different things and be able to change it up halfway through the year and make everybody's life more difficult every time they need to get a PA? We just did a PA. It's a new month. Now you need a new PA. Is all of that good and reasonable? No, it's absolute garbage. And it's one of the reasons why these things need to be addressed. So I'm not saying it's a good thing. I am saying that in order for doctors to be able to continue to prescribe something off-label while these insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies, PBMs are doing the crackdown, they are going to have to fudge the records. Now, if you are not part of the very, very small group of people, which I am part of that very small group of people, that checks their doctor's notes and what it is that they're inputting and gets a copy of all of their records for every single doctor's visit, if you're not doing that, you have no idea what your doctor is doing. The vast majority of people, and I know this because I used to work in a doctor's office, the vast majority of people go to the doctor, get their prescription, take it to the pharmacy, get their prescription, go about their life, right? And really, in essence, that's what we should be able to do. That would be the reasonable thing to do. But having worked in a doctor's office, I can tell you, doctors do all sorts of craziness. They are up to some shenanery. So if you were prescribed Mounjaro, for example, for weight loss only, that's it, then technically, yes, your doctor should have moved you over to Zepbound by now. And eventually, at some point, and I can't say when because a lot of it's going to depend on, how they move forward with this. But at some point, it is going to catch up with you. And it may also catch up with your doctor, especially if they are fudging medical records, purposefully miscoding things, that will catch up with them. Because whenever there is something that is very expensive and it is in shortage, right? It's highly valuable. It is going to be scrutinized to the nth degree. As long as the prices remain at these high levels, these medications, how they're prescribed, what they're prescribed for, is going to be scrutinized by everyone except for the patients and the doctors, right? Because doctors who are in tune and educated on GLP-1s, they know about all the amazing things that they can do for sleep apnea, for kidney issues, liver issues, brain issues, cancers, diabetes, Hashimoto's, PCOS, insulin resistance. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. I mean, they haven't even touched on the number of people who saw improvement in their GI symptoms that they had before. For example, I had a gluten intolerance and a lactose intolerance that I no longer have. I can't explain that to you, but Mounjaro is magic. So as these medications evolve and they study them the more and they find more conditions, right, that they treat, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, other inflammatory conditions, the more we learn, the more we grow, the better we do. But until the prices come down on these medications, they are going to be scrutinized. So if you are an individual who was prescribed Ozempic or Mounjaro for weight loss only, and if you don't know, then you need to be looking at your medical records. You need to be looking at the diagnosis codes. You need to be looking at the notes that your doctor is putting in to see what it is that they're submitting to your insurance company. That is your medical information. You own it. So if you are one of those specific individuals, then yes, I am issuing you a warning, as I like to predict things, that you may go to refill your prescription one day and they say, "Are you a diabetic?" And if the answer is no, they may not give you your prescription. So is that fair? Is it right? Is it good? No. Everybody who has seen any of my videos, you know that I personally believe that everyone should have access to these medications. The reason that you're being prescribed the medication is between you and your doctor, right? That's not any of my business. But insurance companies and PBMs and pharmaceutical companies are making it their business. And that's why we're having these challenges. So if you found this video helpful, definitely give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel and I would greatly appreciate it. If you are someone who was prescribed any of these medications off-label, please comment down below. And if you're comfortable sharing, I would love to know the reason that you are prescribed the medication, because I love that there are such a variety in the different conditions that these medications can help, that they can manage, in some cases that they can eliminate completely. I love it. And if you're comfortable sharing, I would love to know how these medications are helping you and what conditions you have that they're helping with. If you're not comfortable, it's totally okay. Just give me a like. That's just as good. If you're looking for a positive only support group, I've got you covered. Link is in the description box below. And as always, be kind, rewind.